coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. Step into the world of gymnastics with Nebraska women's gymnast and Canadian world team member Emma Spence.
She got a bronze in the all-arounder, bronze on beam. And who knows if she'll get another medal. But that was a very confident performance.
This is Beyond the Routine with Spence.
Hitting all her handstands, connecting all her release moves, and landing that dismount. That's Emma Spence for you.
Sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program. Here is your host, Emma Spence.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beyond the Routine with Spence. I'm your host, Emma Spence, and tonight I decided that I'm going to be going solo again. I haven't done a solo show in a while, it feels like. But I don't know. I like doing it. I think it's fun to just have the opportunity for myself to just kind of share my story, my opinions on things, and just talk. So to get started, I'll kind of start with where I'm at right now. Last week was my last week ever of school, or at least university here, which is really cool. My last day of classes was Thursday, and since then I'm officially done. And I've been done with gymnastics now for, I think it's been about a month, maybe a little bit longer than a month. So there's definitely been a lot of adjustments that have happened over the last few weeks. But honestly, I think they're all really good changes. It's definitely a lot of different things, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to what's next and what I can kind of figure out what to do with my life, basically. Last week was so crazy though. I had so many final projects and stuff due, and it was just like so chaotic. I saw this TikTok it's probably a couple years ago, or like maybe it was on Instagram. I don't know. But it's basically saying like finals week is like the like Mario Kart like song, like just in your head, like constantly, you're just constantly moving and getting stuff done. And that's definitely what it felt like. So my major that I was doing here, or that I did, is communication studies, and I have minors in education and psychology. But because this was like my final semester, most of my classes were communication classes. I did have one education class, which I actually do really like. I do really like doing the education classes. It's just interesting learning about different ways to teach people different things. Basically, that's really what it is, how to teach kids, but also different groups of people throughout that minor I had to learn. But because my major is communication, it's not really like exams and stuff. Like I did have one final exam, but that was a couple weeks ago. But I guess goal of the major is really just learning communication, how to read people, how to engage with people, how to understand why people do the things that they do, why they communicate in certain ways, the underlying reasons behind it. And it's just like really understanding people and interactions between people, or like the lack thereof and the reasons for them. So I personally love that major. I actually switched my major 3 times throughout the last 4 years I was here, which is crazy. But I came in here wanting to do, I thought I could do like PT stuff, like be like a physiotherapist or something. But I know I did the first semester. I honestly think I switched after my first semester freshman year. Maybe second. I don't know. But I did like all the biology classes and stuff, and I did really good in them. But I realized that if I did that path to do like chiropractor, like PT, I would have to deal with like injuries and stuff. And I have a problem with that. Like it freaks me out when I see someone get hurt, or like anyone's injuries and stuff. And I just realized that there is no way that if someone got hurt and I was like in charge of going to run over there and like help them, I would not be able to do it. I would totally freak out. Like, yeah, if I see anyone get hurt or anything, like I immediately like look away. Like I can't. So I'm like, okay, I need to switch my major, because if I'm in charge of going to help someone when they get hurt, like that's just not going to go well. So that's why I switched my major the first time. And then I ended up doing speech pathology for about a year and a half, probably. I think I switched that going into my junior year, but I actually really love that major as well. I learned so many things that I didn't even know were like things that people consider or like think of. It was really about speech, I guess, problems and just like how children learn how to speak from a young age, and then like speech impairments or disabilities and how to adapt lesson plans or adapt the way that you communicate with them so that you're able to communicate in ways when they are not able to like verbally talk, or if they have like disabilities in that way. So that was honestly very interesting. Learning all about speech development from like a newborn all the way until like you're old, and then the ways that like I don't know if you have like dementia and stuff, and like how that works and how that impacts and affects your speech was also really interesting. But I ended up switching that major because I realized that it's just so specific. I feel like I'm the kind of person that likes to do a lot of things and a lot of side things specifically. So if I were to do speech pathology, it's like if I would have to be a speech pathologist, and that's basically all, not all that degree could be used for, but like that's what it's meant to do. So I decided to switch that one because I don't know, I wanted something a little bit more broad. So I actually have a lot of knowledge from different things because there were different times in my, I guess, academic career that I was studying different things. But in the end, I ended up with communications, and then my minors were education because that was built into the speech pathology minor. I'm almost done with it, so I just kept it. And then I added a psychology minor because I loved the psychology classes that I was taking as well. Um, it's just so interesting. I don't know. I just love psychology and just the different theories and ways that people think about things. So overall, that's kind of what the last few years have looked like for me. But because we don't do like many written stuff, it's more about communicating and like orally interacting with other people. My finals last week were all final projects. So I had a final project or like presentation. That's what I meant to say, final presentation. So I had to give like a 20-minute presentation on Monday, a 15-minute presentation on Tuesday, I had a 15-minute presentation on Wednesday, and then a 25-minute presentation on Thursday. And it's really just standing up in front of the class and just talking. And like that's kind of what my finals were all last week. And then a lot of papers. I guess it makes sense, but that's one thing I didn't really know getting into this major. But I've actually improved my writing skills so much since I first got here, which is crazy to think because when I went to my high school, it was all in French. I mean, every class that I took, every school that I went to before coming to the US was in French, and I learned every class in French. So I never was fully taught how to write essays in English, like the proper ways that, like, I guess they expected out of me here. And the first time I had to write an essay, or like a really long paper here, I actually didn't know how to do it. I was like, I don't know what like you guys are looking for. Like I've never actually written like an English paper. So I ended up going to the writing center. This would have been probably my freshman or sophomore year. And I was working with the people in the writing center, and they were literally teaching me how to write essays and like the structures and the formats and every specific thing that like you need to do in a paper. They just taught me all of that because I was just not really aware of how that works in English. Like I wrote papers in English because I did take English classes when I was in school back in Canada, but I guess the level of difficulty was not the same as it was, I guess, attending an English university. So, yeah, that was interesting actually. I forgot that I had to do that, but the growth in my writing skills from freshman year to senior year was actually crazy, and just the ways that so because I was learning school and everything in French, I wasn't really developing like the big words, I guess I could call them, that like people use when they're like speaking professionally in English, because I only learned those words in French because all of my professional writing and everything was just in French because that's what I was doing. So learning how to adapt all of my writing and everything to fit like the more like sophisticated professional English language was really interesting too. So yeah, if I looked at my papers from freshman year and just the words and everything that I've used, the professionalism has increased so much, and it's gotten so much easier for me to write papers. So I'm actually in a spot now where I could say that I would absolutely choose writing a paper over an exam. And I actually really do enjoy doing them. So that was something that was interesting. But yeah, I had two papers due last week as well. One of them was 28 pages long, and there was another one that was like 20 pages long. So that was a lot of writing because I was just like, I don't know. I didn't understand why it was so long, but I guess like if you're a senior and I guess that's what they want you to do. But I would feel so bad for the teachers that have to grade those because I don't know. I feel like I just wouldn't want to do that if I was the teacher grading like, I don't know, 30, 25-page long papers. But I guess that's their job. And I guess that's probably why they chose to do what they do. But yeah, so a lot of writing and a lot of presenting last week, but I got it all done. And yeah, it was incredible just to feel like, wow, like I'm done. And even tonight or like throughout the last few days, I'll be doing stuff and I was like, okay, I got to get home at this time to get school done. And I'm like, oh wait, actually I don't need to get school done. So yeah, that's really interesting. Um and yeah, our graduation is next Saturday. So in a little bit less than a week, which is going to be super exciting. My family is going to be coming here. So I'm really looking forward to that. They don't come to Nebraska too often to visit, so I'm really looking forward to being able to spending some time with them. They were just here that was about 2 months ago now. Well, a month and a half for senior night. And that was one like the second time ever that we've all been in Nebraska together. So this is going to be the third, maybe the last, honestly. It's just kind of sad to think about, but yeah, it was good being able to see them and show them around and I'm excited to do that again. One thing that I'm really looking forward to doing is there's a Megan Maroney concert next Friday, and that's in I think it's La Vista, which is I think it's close to Omaha. Honestly, I haven't really checked, but I'm so excited to be going to her concert. I love country music and I love Megan Maroney specifically. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to being able to go to that. And I'm going to be going with my middle sister, Abby. And she also loves her probably just as much as I do. So I think it's going to be so much fun. I got the concert tickets in like, I think August. So I've been waiting for this concert for a while now. And it's kind of been like something just to look for that I've been looking forward to being able to do and kind of just celebrate being done with school and gym by going to that concert. So overall, I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be a really cool experience. We actually saw Megan Maroney last summer. I went with Abby, my middle sister, and we went to this music festival in Montreal, Quebec, which honestly, I didn't even know this was like an actual, like they had these festivals in Quebec because Quebec is the French province. So I was surprised that they had like an English country festival and like Megan Maroney was there and a bunch of big names too. So um, I went with her. I was actually not even planning on going. She went with a bunch of friends and I was like, "Hey, I'm going to be home this week." And I guess she didn't know in advance. So she's like, "Well, I'm actually not going to be home. I'm going to be going to this country concert or like country festival in Montreal." So they were road tripping like 6, 7 hours away. So I was like, "Well, can I come?" And she's like, "Yeah, of course." So I ended up going with her and her friends. I don't even know how she met them. I think she worked with one of them and then it was like her work friend's friend. So we kind of tagged along. Um, there's like 5 of us in a hotel room, 5 or 6 girls. Um, we road trip, yeah, 6, 7 hours and spent a couple nights in a hotel room in Montreal, going to this music festival all day for like 2 or 3 days in a row. And there were so many incredible singers. And yeah, Megan Maroney was there and she's just great. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that again next Friday. And then the graduation's on Saturday, which is going to be really nice. They have the first session of the graduation in the morning. Basically, they divided us into 2 um, different grads just because I guess there's so many people. I don't know. But we're kind of divided based on our majors and stuff. So there's a morning one. They start at like, or they have to get there around 7 a.m. So I'm really glad that I'm not in that group because yeah, waking up early is just not my thing. So they have the grad in the morning and then they're doing this like student athlete celebration thing, I guess. I don't really know what like the actual name that they're calling it, but all student athletes that are graduating are going to be going to this like I don't know, maybe a banquet. I don't know what it's called, but they're doing like they're giving us our rings. So that's going to be really cool. It's like these big like I don't know, end rings that the student athletes get. So it's going to be like a little ring ceremony for us and then I think just like a celebration. Everyone when their families, all student athletes and their families can just hang out for a few hours. And then after that is the second part, like the second group of people graduating. So I will be graduating in that second group. I think it starts at like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. So I'll have some time to get ready during the day. I don't have to wake up too early. Yeah, I'll start at like that student athlete thing, and then I'll end up going to like the actual graduation. So I think that's going to be really fun. And then, yeah, being able to do that with my family and my sisters and all my other teammates is, I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really special time. Um, to just like, it's really going to hit me then, I think, because I'm still at a point where I'm just like, I don't know. I'm obviously like aware that I'm done with school now. It's still in the back of my mind when I'm like, oh, wait, I have to do homework. And I'm like, okay, no, I don't. But with that, and then being done with sports completely too, is just, I feel like it's really going to hit me once graduation's done, because then I'll have like no obligations, I guess, with the university, which I'm not saying that and like it was a bad thing at all to have that. But now it's like, okay, I don't have to go to classes. I don't have to go to practice. I don't have to go to lift. I don't have to do all of these meetings. And it's just, it's going to be really weird, because then I'll kind of be like losing those ties with the university, which is kind of all I've known since I've been in Lincoln. So that transition is going to be very interesting. But um, I'm, like I said before, I'm really ready for that transition, and I'm very excited for what's next. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I am going to stay here next year, and I'm going to. Okay, so a lot of people have asked me why I'm doing that, and I'll touch on that a little bit. But the community here in Nebraska, and especially around Nebraska athletics, is very, very, I don't even know how to explain it. It's very special and just inclusive. And everyone kind of knows everyone by the end of their time here. And yeah, I feel like I have so many connections with so many people within the athletic department, between other student athletes, and also within the community, which is really cool, because our team specifically, but also just Nebraska athletics, really focuses on the outreach part of us. Like, I guess a big thing that the university strives for is that connection between the community and the athletes, so that everyone's like a big community and involved with each other. And we kind of, because I mean, the community gives so much to us, and they support us in so many different ways and times. And then us being able to partner with them, um, and just help out in the community, is kind of like us giving back. And that back and forth between us, I think, is something that is so special. So, because of that, I've had opportunities to network with so many people around the community, through many different organizations and clubs and schools, and just groups of people that I've volunteered with and I've met through networking. And I'm just really excited to kind of, I don't know, I feel like if I were to leave right now, I wouldn't be maximizing the opportunities that, um, I don't know, and the connections that I've made over the last few years. So I want to be able to stay here for a year and just kind of leverage off the networking and the communities, and try and kind of start the next part of my life around people that I kind of know and that know me, and that I can be pretty open with, and just share kind of where I'm at. So I think that's going to be the best move for me. I don't know what I'm doing after that, but I think staying here is going to be good. I mean, even here at the ticket, there's so many great people that I've connected with and have been in touch with. Like, yeah, there's been great people. So I think that's something that's going to be really helpful for me. I'm planning on also getting my master's. I'm probably going to be doing that online though, and I'm thinking I'll do it through a Canadian program. But I'll be doing my master's in counseling. I think that'll probably start in the fall, and then I'll be working also. So next steps for me, I guess, are to find a job, and then yeah, once I do that, I think it'll be really good. One thing that I've been doing a little bit more, I guess, in this free time, is I've been doing a little bit more shows, not just like with my own show, but I've been invited on other people's shows over the last few weeks, which has been really cool. I was on The Captain last Friday, and I'm doing happy hour tonight with Ricky. And yeah, the people here at the ticket are really awesome, and being able to meet these people and be on their shows and hear their stories and share my stories with them. Um, it's been really fun. That's kind of, I guess, what I've been doing with my free time over the last, I guess it hasn't even really been a week, but I did that Friday, first day of no classes. I was like, all right, I'll get in here and do that. And I'm going to do another one tonight. So that's awesome. And then I've been also pre-recording a lot more of my shows because I'm planning on going home in June. So I thought it would be easier if I just like pre-recorded a bunch of them in person with my teammates so that those kind of just get like launched, I guess, every weekend when I'm away at home, but it's like I'm here. So that's good. I don't know. I feel like it's better to do the shows like face to face for me, at least. It's a lot like more comfortable. I don't know. I feel like if I were to do it over Zoom, it would probably be okay, but I don't know. It's just a different vibe. So I like doing that with people. So, oh, and we also use the new like podcast studio, like pre-recording studio that they have here, and it's really cool. So you'll see that, I guess, when if you watch any of the pre-recorded ones, but it's a really cool setup. So that felt really awesome to be doing that with them. Another thing, so I'm going to be going to Canada for about a week in a week and a half ish. And so I've kind of touched on this a couple times, and I'll probably touch on it a little bit more in the next segment. But I'm the athlete rep at Gymnastics Canada for the women's program. So that's definitely been keeping me busy, actually. I had a meeting with them, some of the girls this morning, some of the girls the other night, and just really planning because they have Canadian championships in, yeah, I think it's going to be 2 weeks from now about that. So that's going to be really great to be able to be in that setting in this time, not as an athlete. I haven't really been in this position before. So being able to go out there and be the voice for the athletes, be their, I guess, biggest fan, honestly, and just be there for them in any way that they need is something that I'm really looking forward to. And I've been kind of starting to plan and brainstorm on. But yeah, I'll touch on that a little bit more in the next segment, I think. Because there's just a lot that goes to that. So I'm gonna head to break now, and I'll come back and I'll get started with that. You are listening to Beyond the Routine with Emma Spence.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwieso.com. That's schwisow.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's All Things Youth Football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here. Summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Muchachos has been serving Lincoln delicious pork, brisket, and chicken tacos for several years now, as well as Hatch Mac nachos and more. Muchachos also brings you close to the taste buds of your favorite local college athletes with NIL deals like the B3 burrito for Bella Bacon of Nebraska softball and many more. See a variety of different NIL options at Muchachos at 11th and K or order online at yomuchacho.com. Open 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Fairway has fresh cut meats, seafood, cheese, wine, and spirits, and a friendly staff that's always ready to help you find what you need. Stop by Fairway Meat Market today to plan your weekly meals in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Back to Beyond the Routine with Spence on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
Welcome back to Beyond the Routine. I'm your host, Emma Spence, and I'm going solo tonight. No guests. So just kind of been talking about, I don't know, the last few years here, I guess, based on like the school side of things, but then also last week and then the next few weeks, what they'll look like for me. So I was kind of touching on my role at nationals in a couple weeks with Gymnastics Canada. The main one is going to be the athlete representative for the women's program. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I think we haven't really had someone in that role when I was there, or not really like on site at championships and stuff. So I think it's going to be really beneficial for the athletes to have someone that they know is on their side throughout the meet, the training days. I'll be kind of walking around, I think, wandering around the venue. One thing, so in our meeting the other day, I was like, is there anything like specific that you girls want from me? And one of them was like, I would just love if like you would come up to me after my routines and just like celebrate with me, high fives and stuff. I was like, of course, like that's going to be so much fun. So hoping to bring the vibes, be able to support my Canadian girls, and I think it'll be a good time. The championships are going to be in Calgary, Alberta. So that's also cool. I haven't been, actually, no, I think I did go to Calgary in 2019, but it was in the winter. So there was a lot of snow. It was very cold. They are known for like, they have really pretty mountains and lakes. And yeah, there's this area called Banff in Alberta, which I wonder if I'll be able to go. I don't know. I'll have to ask. Because that would be really cool to see in the summer. Because I've only been in the winter, and it was like the lakes and everything were completely frozen over. And there was a lot of snow and stuff. But yeah, that would be really cool. I think just being able to also like maybe sightsee a little bit when I'm there. But yeah, that's what that's going to be like. I want to kind of explain, I guess, why I'm like so passionate about that role. I'm on a lot of other committees as well. Kind of related to the same thing, like just empowering athletes, giving them a voice, and yeah, helping them kind of learn that what they have to say is valuable. Because yeah, basically there was a point in time where athletes didn't really have a voice, and especially in gymnastics, specifically women's gymnastics, there's been this culture built around the sport that's it was really about not vocalizing anything that you had going, like any problems or any concerns or anything. Like you were just not allowed to bring it up. You weren't really allowed to talk about it. It was not part of the culture at all. It was really based on the idea that like the coach is in control and they tell you what you need to do and you do it. And I mean, like it works. That system does work, but at the end, I feel like it's not very adaptive to the athlete's needs. Because yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, a coach is like a partner. It's not just like someone that tells you everything, because if both of the athletes and the coaches work together, I feel like that's when you get the best outcome, because they're getting feedback. And yeah, the coaches are giving feedback, the athletes are giving them feedback, and that dynamic would really, it works. You guys help each other out, and it just builds a stronger relationship that is built with the foundation of wanting, I guess, the same outcome. And I feel like sometimes when there isn't that communication from both ends, there is a lack of understanding in the goals that are trying to be achieved. And because of that, the outcomes aren't always what we're expected or what we're wanted. So I'm really passionate about empowering the athletes that feel like they have no voices. And we are transitioning out of that in gymnastics overall. I feel like the culture is starting to get better, and there is more of a, you're able to share more, you're able to talk more about how you feel. The coaches in general are being a lot more accommodating to injuries and mental health related things potentially, or whatever other issues are kind of going on. I feel like there has been a shift over the last few years in the culture. I mean, it depends where you're from and where you are, but overall as a whole, that seems to be the trend, which is really good. But there's still some places and some cultures and clubs or whatever it may be that aren't on board with that yet. So I think it's really good to be able to have those conversations. It's not something that people really talk about. It is getting talked about a lot more, but because of the things that I've experienced in the sport over the last, I guess, 15 years that I was doing it, there's been a lot of good, but there's also been a lot of bad. And at the end of the day, the abusive situations that I was in shaped me into who I am. But I don't know. It's interesting because it's like, do I wish I never went through it? Because maybe I wouldn't be who I am now, but it wasn't fun. It wasn't great. So, yeah, that's kind of the motive, is just to help empower the next generation to speak up for themselves and have a voice and have a really strong partnership with the coaches. And by no means am I saying that I don't think the coaches should be direct and that they should be telling athletes what to do, because that is their job. But I just think a more inclusive space where it's more of a partnership and the athletes do have a say in what they do is ultimately going to lead the athletes to the next level. And I do feel like this could be applied to most sports as well. I don't really know much about other sports, if I'm being honest, but I think overall, just that idea could be really, really beneficial. And a thing that I'm really passionate about specifically right now is helping the elite girls. So the NCAA girls that are going to do elite. Um, Elite gymnastics is like the international stuff, competing for Canada. And then the NCAA stuff is when you come here and do NCAA. Um, there's a culture built, or an ideology, I guess, because based on the fact that coaches think that when the athlete goes to NCAA, like that's kind of it for that, like that coach. Um, but I feel like that's not true. It really just depends on the relationship that the coach has with the athlete, because I don't know, some coaches seem to be seeing NCAA as a bad thing, specifically in Canada. So when there's some things that may be said, and then the athlete goes to NCAA and then they don't feel comfortable coming back just because that culture kind of built around it. But I honestly think that it comes from a lack of knowledge about how the NCAA works, because it's obviously not something that they do in Canada, at least not for gymnastics. So I don't know. There's a lot of ideas and concerns I feel like they have, or the Canadian Gymnastics Canada system has, for uh the idea, I guess, of NCAA. So I think that my role on that, I guess, the side of things with Gymnastics Canada is really helping that transition, and I don't know, educating the coaches and the federation and just the people that work there that NCAA isn't like a terrible thing to do. It's really beneficial. Like, honestly, if I didn't do NCAA, I would not have gone back to compete for Canada after Tokyo. I wouldn't have done it. I would have probably just completely been retired. So, because I came to NCAA, I learned new things. I learned how to better take care of myself and all of these things, which helped me end up being a better gymnast. And then I ended up going back and competing for Canada and England, and yeah, got the Commonwealth Games medals. That World Championship medal made history for Canada, and all these things that wouldn't have been possible if I didn't do NCAA. So I think it's a really special thing, and I personally would encourage people to do it. But I think there's just a lack of knowledge in the country right now about how it works, and then a concern that if the athletes go to NCAA, they will not come back and compete for the country. It's not everyone that thinks that, but it's more of like trends and stuff that I feel like I've noticed. So, yeah, just kind of being that bridge of like educating and understanding and helping guide and bridge these gaps of knowledge so that everyone is like on the same page and understanding the benefits that come with doing it. And then just being a voice for the athletes that are trying to do both at the same time, because I've experienced it and it was definitely challenging because the system wasn't really built for that. It wasn't built for adapting athletes that wanted to do both. So now that I'm able to be on these committees and be a role, or have a role, I guess, at Gymnastics Canada specifically for the women's program, I'm able to help rebuild and adapt some things and figure out ways to best support these athletes so that they are able to perform and get the most out of their careers, um, and what they want out of them, whether it is on the elite side of things or the NCAA side of things or both. Because when I was going through it, I was one of the first Canadian gymnasts to do NCAA and elite at the same time, and the system was just not made for that. It wasn't the most accommodating, which ended up penalizing me a little bit in certain situations with certain selections and stuff, because I wasn't able to attend all of the competitions that regular gymnasts in the country were able to do because I was competing NCAA. So that's something that I'm very passionate about. I think there is a lack of knowledge, and I'm not even blaming anyone for it because it is somewhat becoming a newer thing and a newer topic. Um, and just more Canadians overall have been going to the NCAA recently. So just being able to kind of help them out and kind of guide some things so that everyone's understanding and has the proper knowledge is my goal. And I'm looking forward to being able to do that. And another thing that I'm actually going to be doing at championships is kind of be like working media, like social media stuff, and doing like interviews and stuff with the athletes. I've never really done that, but I guess I've done the radio show stuff, and I feel like that's probably pretty similar because I've interviewed a bunch of my teammates. I guess you could kind of see it as an interview. So I'm gonna go around. They said they were gonna give me a microphone, and someone was literally just gonna video me going up and interviewing and asking fun questions to different athletes. There's going to be the men's gymnastics, men's artistic, women's artistic. There's going to be men's and women's tumbling and trampoline, and men's and women's acro. So there are going to be a lot of disciplines here at Canadian Championships this year. And yeah, I'm going to kind of be like the media girl that's going to be working with the athletes, getting the inside scoop, and coming up with some fun, like creative content to showcase their personalities as well. So I guess this week I'll be planning more about that and how I'm going to go about that with them. But I think it's going to be really fun. Kind of speaking on the empowering athletes to use their voices, I wanted to touch a little bit on my final capstone project that I did, my final communication capstone project. So this was all semester. You basically had to choose a topic that, I mean, I thought she said one that you're passionate about. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. But technically, you could choose any topic. But we ended up having to do like a 15 source annotated bibliography. We did, it was like I think it was at least 10, 15 pages of literature review. And then overall, it ended up being like a final 25-page final capstone paper about a topic that meant a lot to you. And what I decided to choose and do my thing on was the effects of the fan athlete relationship. So the good and the bad that comes on both ends from, the fan athlete relationship in sports. And I thought it was so interesting. At first, I was kind of stuck trying to figure out what to write about. But throughout the semester, I ended up coming up with ideas and doing a lot of research. And I found a lot of interesting things. And I ended up getting 100% on my final paper. So I was really proud about that because it was something that I was like really interested in. And sometimes when I write papers, it's just about stuff that I have to write about. But this was something that like I was super passionate about and interested in. And one of the parts of the paper was like, how are you going to like, what can I do in like to be able to kind of help with this topic that I was researching? And I was like, I literally wrote in my paper, I was like, I have a radio show. I will talk about this topic on my show and kind of go over it and like the main findings, I guess, that I find. And yeah, my teacher said that she loved the idea that I would be talking about it because I do think that it's something that needs to be talked about a little bit. But yeah, so I actually told her that I would be doing it. So basically, the main findings and stuff that I found from this, which makes sense. And like, honestly, like, yeah, it makes sense. But I didn't really ever like think about it very much. But it was like the dynamics between the two of them. So fans and athletes are like helping each other like hand in hand almost. So basically, I found out that like once there's like negative feedback from a fan, then it like negatively impacts mental health and performance most of the time. But then when there's the positive feedback from fans, it more like motivates and inspires athletes moving forward. So then it's like when that cycle or once they get in that cycle of like negative comment goes to negative performance and then it's like that spiral, but then when there's like the positive comment and then the positive performance and then it's like that kind of cycle too. So it really just depends like about the input and the output of like the type of feedback and communication between both parties, and that kind of leads to the outcome of it. So I don't really know what I was trying to get out of this paper, but that was like the main findings from it, which I thought were really interesting. And yeah, my teacher seemed to love it. And I did that presentation the other week on Tuesday. And yeah, it was just overall really interesting. There was also things that touched on like how the fan athlete relationships create like emotional bonds that influence mood and identity. That was something that came out of that. There's how social media can strengthen or ruin fan athlete relationships and connections depending on like how things are portrayed in the media. I thought it was cool that there's a part that touched on how fans form communities based on shared loyalty and emotional investments. So basically, yeah, groups of fans that support some like I don't know, certain team or something, they form their own community in that sense. I found a lot about how female athletes are easy targets to this, to like more of the shame and like hateful stuff in the media related to sports. Um, there was also a lot. So basically, okay, I ended up dividing the literature review in three parts. There's like the impact of disrespectful comments, there's athletes sharing their stories and how that impacts society, and then the dynamics of the fan and athlete relationship. Um, so those were the three that I touched on, but the athletes sharing their stories impact society, I guess, is what I've been saying throughout the show quite a bit because, I mean, yeah, I think just athletes having a platform to share their experiences and their stories overall ends up helping people that are hearing them just because they have a little bit more influence over certain communities. So when, I don't know, for example, a child is listening to their idol speak about something in the media, that really influences and impacts how they feel about the topic. So doing research and learning about that was pretty cool. The findings from that I collected or that athletes sharing mental health struggles destigmatizes mental health issues. Vulnerability from athletes sparks crucial conversations, and then athletes leveraging their platforms in the media can positively inspire and influence communities. So I don't usually talk about school and the things that like I find and learn, but I thought it was really interesting that I got to do a project on something that like actually impacted me. And I actually ended up for like the presentation part of this, was like name searching myself on Twitter and I found specific examples and was like screenshotting conversations of me with fans like that fan athlete relationship. There was stuff that I found. There was positive comments, there were negative comments, about my team, positive comments about my team, and I just took screenshots of all of those or like some of them, and then I ended up like putting them in my presentation so that I had like real life examples of kind of how that works. And I don't know, I thought it was really interesting and I was really proud of that because then my teacher ended up giving me 100%. I was like, no way, I didn't think it was going to be that good, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. So, anyways, on that note, I'm gonna head to my next break. We'll be back with the final segment in a few minutes. You're listening to Beyond the Routine with Emma Spence.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? You need an attorney you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, we want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Call the trial attorneys you can trust. 877-42-LIBERTY.
Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, two-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with the child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Breathe easier inside your home with Bryant. Eliminate allergens and odors and control humidity too. For a breath of fresh air, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Back to Beyond the Routine with Spence on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Sponsored by the Teammates Mentoring Program.
Welcome back to Beyond the Routine with Spence. For this final segment, so usually when I have my teammates on, I do rapid fire questions with them. So because I'm doing it by myself, I realized I've never actually answered the rapid fire questions myself. So I thought it would be interesting if I took these last few minutes and just kind of went through my opinions on the questions. I've heard so many different answers from so many different teammates, and there's been so many great ones. So yeah, I'll go through them myself. So the first one that I usually ask, I love asking teammates about this one. I just think it kind of gives an insight on the culture and how our team is. So the first one, describe Nebraska gymnastics in 3 words. I've heard such a variety of answers and words for this. I would probably say fun, passion, and hardworking. Those are probably the 3 words that I would use. I feel like, yeah, our team has just, I guess heart would have been a good one too. We have a lot of heart and motivation and just fun when we're there. Favorite event? So my favorite event to compete is floor, but my favorite event to practice in the gym is bars. Least favorite event? Sometimes it depends on the day, but overall, I don't know, probably beam or vault. Okay, my least favorite event to practice is probably vault, but my least favorite event to compete is definitely beam. I get so nervous and it's just, yeah, it's tough. Competing beam is tough. Any pre-meet rituals? So I don't specifically have certain pre-meet rituals anymore. I used to have some when I was training elite, but when I got here, we were competing all the time when we were in season and traveling to all these different places. So I wasn't really able to carry on certain rituals just because I was always in different places. So yeah, I think this season specifically, pre-meet ritual would just be getting ready with teammates. If it was a home meet, I would get to the gym like an hour or 2 in advance, do my makeup and hair and everything with the girls on the team. And that was really fun. That was probably that. I also tend to lay on the floor during meets. I don't know if anyone's noticed that at all, but Yeah, I before competing beam, I get really, I don't know, anxious, definitely anxious. So I kind of just like starfish in the corner on the floor to fully ground myself. Um, yeah. So that's, I guess, something that I have to do before competing beam every time. Just like starfish on the floor just to fully ground myself in that way. Um, if I could get a custom floor music, I feel like it'd be really cool to have like a country song. I don't know what one specifically, but I love country music and I feel like that vibe would be fun. Oh my gosh, a Megan Maroney song would be so cool. That would be really cool. That's probably something I would do, a Megan Maroney song. Post meet, my favorite post meet meal, I would say probably pizza and fries and also probably a burger. Anything that's like unhealthy. Probably. If I could add a skill into my routines without having to learn it, that one's so interesting. A lot of people say double layouts, and honestly, I think I'd have to agree. I think double layouts are just such a beautiful skill, and they are so hard to learn. So if I didn't have to go through the process of learning it, I would definitely love to just like chuck double layouts. Ooh, if I could trade places with someone on the team for a day, oh man, I don't know. I feel like maybe Naya. I think I just love Naya. Her presence and her energy just like give me life, literally. She's just so happy all the time and being in her presence just brings me joy. And I would just love to know kind of like what goes on in her head, what she does to keep her like keep herself in that mindset and like a good mood and everything. So definitely her. And the final one is what is my favorite team ritual and tradition? Um, I would say I love the day by day chant that we do before we compete. I think most sports do it here, but we basically get in a circle and we like put our arms around each other and everything and we just yeah, do the day by day chant and that's pretty fun. So that's probably my favorite one. But yeah, that's all of my answers to my rapid fire questions that I usually ask my teammates. And that's a wrap on tonight's show. We'll be back next week. You're listening to Beyond the Routine with Emma Spence.
Get ready for the largest dirt late model event in Nebraska, race fans. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series is heading to Eagle Raceway's High Bank Heist on Thursday, May 15th.